I'm not saying there'll be huge vats of it everywhere. Salisbury Plain, the Brecon Beacons, that sort of thing, will see several centimetres, but you know how it works. It only takes a couple of centimetres for
Yeah, it
everything to
does.
fall apart. 2018 was the last time we saw this, so this is all about cause and effect. There's a bit of a debate going on between the Met Office, ourselves, and other meteorologists in terms of what the causes are. The common factor we think is climate change, but it's not necessarily just, this event is all climate change. If I can just explain. So, one of the consensus is the North Atlantic Oscillation, the jet stream, the powerhouse, if you like, in the Atlantic has dived southwards. It's allowed the Arctic air to come in, and that's a simple way of putting it. But normally that's North Atlantic oscillation, as we call it. That's normally powering its way towards us and giving us wet weather and storms and all the rest of it, as it did last February, not this February. So it's dived south. The other consensus, one that I favour, is the dislocation of the polar vortex. Are you still with me?
I actually like the sound of the dislocation of the polar vortex more than I like the North
Okay.
Atlantic oscillation. Go on, elaborate on that
Okay,
one.
so what that means is that before you get there, you get sudden stratospheric warming, which means basically an upside down. The cold air gets funneled away from the poles towards wherever it ends up. Now, a couple of weeks ago, it ended up in California, Southern California. Extremely unusual, record-breaking low temperatures, snow with it. There was one episode. We're now seeing the next episode. That's when I say we, the UK and parts of Europe, isn't just for the UK on its own. So that's kind of the one that I fancy as being the runner here rather than necessarily, but it could be a combination of the
Mm.
two. And climatologists into the future will tell us which one is the winner, but probably it's going to take a few years before we get there. And as I say, underpinned potentially anyway by climate change. So those are the causes. The effects, well, you mentioned the snow today. Look, most of the snow has been in the north, and particularly they're going to say, and it's still snowing up there, northeast Scotland, northern Scotland, and northeast areas of England, one or two other areas as well, Northern Ireland, I shouldn't forget. That's where the main stuff's been. So the bits and bobs you got in London area were exactly that, bits and bobs. But you might be waking up to something different tomorrow. Doesn't matter what time you wake up, actually, Kate, because I think it'll be there. So look, there's a big swathe of
For
rain
kind of
that's
generally everyone, Jim, all over the UK in terms of waking up to snow, or just specific
no,
areas?
no, no. I think it will be where it is at the moment. I mean, the snowfields of the north. And by the way, you mentioned -15. Look, Glascannock. I never pronounced that one, but it is one of those idyllic glens. It's a big lock up there in the Highlands. They're -10 at the moment. They're heading for that -15 magic number, so I think they may well get there. But no, the snowfields in the north and the snowfields that will start to occur in the south. Now, that swathe of rain that's out towards Cornwall way, that's going to move its way northeastwards through the course of this evening and tonight particularly, and it's going to take in the whole of the southern counties, maybe up to the southern Midlands, South Wales included, and that's got snow on it. It's basically hitting. The rain will come in and hit the cold air, and a presto, everything turns to snow, and that includes the London area. I'm not saying there'll be huge vats of it everywhere. Salisbury Plain, the Brecon Beacons, that sort of thing, will see several centimetres, but you know how it works. It only takes a couple of centimetres for
Yeah, it
everything to
does.
fall apart.
Jim, very, very quickly, are you still going with Spring Thaw as the name of this, THOR as in thaw? And
Yeah.
is there, very briefly, a chance that this could officially be a named storm? Could this escalate into a
No,
named
I don't.
storm?
Name storms come in the way of wind rather than snow. So that's get that one out of the way.
Okay.
Not, but I'm going to stick with Spring Thaw because it's a nice name. It's named after that Arctic walrus that ended up in the Hebrides, the forecaster that came down knowing this was all coming a few days ago. So spring, as we're in meteorological spring, Thaw, THOR. And by the way, Thursday, watch out, particularly in the Midlands and the North, because if you think tomorrow's bad, then it's not.
Yikes.
There's a lot more coming on Thursday that will dislocate a lot of this country.
All right. Well, listen,
Just be
thank you.
warned.
Thank you for the heads up. And if you enjoyed that, you can listen to me, Kate Borsay, every evening, Monday to Thursday, 8 until 10 on the evening edition on Times Radio.